Okay, for our presentation today, we're going to be going over introductions, which we already did. Who are we as people? What we're going to go also is what our project is and why we chose it, how we planned it out, how to get there and, start the project, our results of the project, contributions, who we worked with, who we met to, social need of why the community needs us and why we basically came, and go over class concepts and the overall conclusion of the project.
One of our primary assignments in this class is to choose a service project and commit to it. We decided to choose the Puppy Pals Animal Shelter in Mesa for our project. The Puppy Pals shelter has an overflow of dogs and not a lot of volunteers. This is a really big problem in the Phoenix community. We chose this problem after going through a process of choosing which service opportunity we wanted to do. Our professor, Anya, gave us many resources and links to many different service opportunities that was available to us. At first, we decided we wanted to do a food bank, but after going through the Hands-on Greater Phoenix calendar, we decided that there was no food banks that really coordinated with our schedules. We looked further into the calendar and we saw an opportunity called Puppy Pals. This opportunity was very interesting to us because we all love dogs, and the shelters need a lot of help. We decided to register for the service opportunity and made it final.
Go.
Okay, so once we decided that we wanted to volunteer at Puppy Pals, we decided on a date that would work best for everybody. We decided October 13th was the best day that everyone could do. So to start planning and preparing, we exchanged phone numbers and emails, and we started a group chat. This really helped in virtual communication because we couldn't always meet outside of class, but when we did, we met 3 Tuesdays before the actual volunteering project. So that was really important that we met up and talked through the group chat. And then with the group contract, we established ground rules and what we expected of the group in the end. And then once we had that established, we decided who would drive, which would be me, because Alex and I are the only ones in state. So we decided that I would drive because my parking lot is very close. And then we made sure we were all registered and we were ready to go.
Awesome. So for the actual day of our community service project, we met up at Hacienda Building A because all of us are business students and we all live really nearby there, so that was really convenient. And as Kes stated before, she was a designated driver, so we all walked to a rural parking lot and she drove us over there. When we arrived, there was a lot of short instructions. All we had to do was really sign in because we registered before, and they had short instructions for us. It was a very lax environment. The instructions included 1, don't let the dogs off the leash. 2 was not let them get too close to other people or other dogs, because after all, even though the shelter does their best to take care of them, they're still, some of them are still dogs that have been abandoned, beaten, abused. So some of them are a little skitsy around people and other dogs, so that was one of the rules. And the 3rd one is to make sure that if they get too sick or they're showing signs of sickness or mental illness, we have to bring them back. But other than that, it was a very smooth transition. Our group, ourselves, the 5 of us, were given in charge of 13 dogs within our group. This is where some of those class concepts and kind of leadership roles took over. Some of us have had dogs before. For example, Alex raised 3 dogs, so we gave him a little bit more to handle. On the other hand, Farah, who grew up in Saudi Arabia, had never raised dogs before or had been around dogs that much, so we only gave her 1 dog so that she wouldn't be too overwhelmed. There was a local park and trail nearby where we were allowed to walk the dogs and kind of play with them. So we went around, walked the dogs for a couple hours, hung out with them. It was also a great opportunity to raise awareness because at 8 in the morning, a lot of people are outside working out, going on runs, and they would ask us, what are you guys up to? And it allowed us to raise also awareness for the shelter and talk about what we were doing, so that was awesome.
We volunteered at the Puppy Pals West Valley shelter because we felt that the dogs needed more attention, especially that at the shelter there are not enough employees to take out the dogs every day to exercise. Also, approximately 1.5 million dogs each year get euthanized. This is because there are not enough people to adopt them. Most people nowadays get dogs as gifts without thinking of the responsibilities that come along with them. This is why there is a social need and we should spread awareness.
Awesome. So some of the stuff we're going to go over are the class concepts or textbook concepts that we utilized in our group, in our project, and just mostly throughout the semester as we grew as a group. The first one is the mutuality of concern. Beebe and Masterson state that for a group to come together and work very well together effectively, they kind of need like a mutual reason to to trust each other as well as have a mutual goal. And our mutuality of concern was that we wanted to do well in the class, and we wanted to learn well, and we wanted to do well in the class and do the service project well. But a lot of that hinged on how we did as a group, so it allowed us to hold each other accountable, and that kind of meshed us together as a group. The second one was establishing ground rules. So just like before, BB Masterton state that it's important to have ground rules and to kind of say what's expected from the group from the get-go, what's allowed, what's not, what are the expectations, and what are the consequences as well for those that don't hold up to those rules. It's kind of a big contract, kind of like what we made for the class, to hold each other accountable and to make sure that we really do well and stick to the original goals and concepts that we had in place in the beginning. And the non-verbal communication aspect was also extremely important because we're all busy college students. We all have other classes other than the Comm 230 class this is in. So we can't always meet up like we always want to. In an ideal world we could, but we can't. There's only so many hours in the day. But that's where the nonverbal communication comes in. Just like Kes stated, a little bit before, the group text was huge. Google Docs, being able to work on stuff while not actually being present together, but commenting on each other's stuff, that was huge and important, and that just was really helpful. Some of the concepts that were utilized during the project, during the actual day we were at, the project helping with the dogs, was there was an element, we used a lot of the elements of effective group making decision. Nothing went wrong, it was a very smooth day in the project, but some little things came up here and there, and if it wasn't for the effective group decision making, it could have gotten a lot worse. For example, the weather was kind of bad that day, but then it started pouring right around an hour and a half in, right about 30 minutes right before we were done. And we were already on the trail in the park, so we kind of had to come together, not freak out, not panic, and kind of make a group decision to be like, all right, what are we going to do? Are we going to keep going with the dogs? Are we going to bring them immediately back? But the effective group making process that we learned in this class kind of helped us keep it under control and to get out of the situation in good needs. And also the last one, BB and Masterton say that groups need interactions to be even better, to kind of go past that further level into being an effective team. So you can't just have ground rules, you kind of need something to be doing. The group members need to be doing something to be effective, something they enjoy. And we all like hanging out with dogs, and we all like helping our community. So being at the project and actually helping the dogs and working with them was really helpful. It just kept us in our own lane. We didn't fight, it was all good. We're all in good mood. We were helping our community hang out with dogs, so that was good. So yeah, these are the class concepts that we used in our project and during our semester.
Okay, so for some of our references, we started with the textbook, which we were given to by Anya, just communicating in small groups. And then for our other reference, we used some pet statistics, and we just used those for the handouts.
Yeah, for a conclusion to this project allowed us to learn to work as a team better and help our community, meaning we got closer as a group and became friends, and we got to help out dogs in need with the employees there that need the help as well. We chose this place because we thought we all love dogs, in which we do, and we thought they do really need help since they're at max capacity. And the event itself was awesome. It turned out to be very fun, even though it rained that day, but we liked it because we got to meet other people and meet cute dogs. A lot we learned was about ourselves and how we like to help out the community. And overall, I think we did very well with working with employees and our team members ourselves, and we enjoyed it.